Hello, what is up, fellow crafters? My name is Minecraft, and welcome back to yet another theory series video. In today's video, guys, I am sorry, but I'm currently in the hospital. I just got surgery, so if I sound, different, that's why. But anyways, in today's video, we're going to be overlooking a Buddy the Ink Machine theory I've had about the glowing text all around the studio. I unfortunately do not have my notebook with me right now. I didn't even bother writing down the theory, but we're going on theory series style here. But anyways, so the glowing text, there's many things on glowing text around the studio. Here, I'll show you. I am back. But anyways, so there's text all around the studio, I can't find any images, and it's annoying. But anyways, basically, there's a whole bunch of text all around the studio that begins with that if you use the looking glass after you beat chapter 5, if you use the looking glass you obtain and you can use all around the studio, you will be able to see there's a whole bunch of text all around the studio, like at the dreams come true. Not all dreams come true, and there is a possible theory that I have that that Henry may have written all of it. Um, that Henry could have written all of it. I don't really know, but that is a well-developed theory because Henry just seems like a likely suspect because he seems to be like the only one that is self-aware of what is going on. But the other cartoons, they don't know anything. Like, look at that. Or not. Um, yeah, as you guys can see, there's a whole bunch of text. Like, look at all this. Anyways, but Henry could read all of it, and I personally feel like, that if he wrote it, I can see why all those telemarks, all these telemarks right here. But do you think Machine is a never-ending loop? That Alright, anyways, about the other characters. Basically, all the characters except Henry seem to be unaware of what's going on in the world around them. And this could be a serious problem. Especially for Henry, because he's kind of relying on them to know what's going on here. But anyways, um, but yeah, I'm sorry, but see, this is not the first time. The first time you play Bendy and the Ink Machine, it's not the first time that Henry has been in the studio. He has been in there many times, as you guys saw. But I'm not gonna let that stop this theory from being developed. This theory is why he wrote the text. Why he wrote it probably as warnings. Who knows, honestly. It's Bendy and the Ink Machine. But the theories, they... Wait, no. The text, I mean, the text. The text, the text is all around the studio, like I keep saying. Oh, and we now know who the creator is. Joey is the creator. And this studio is a fake world. And I'll go into a theory series video later on about that. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's actually get into the theory because I keep rambling on. But anyways, so this theory is like there is a lot of text and oh my god, back to the old theory series me. But anyways, basically, um, at the end of at the beginning of chapter 5, when you first look through the looking glass, there is something about an angel. Obviously, it's talking about Allison Angel, and because she is the true angel of Bendy the Ink Machine. And we're all really curious, probably about what the heck, what is going on, because, like, oh my god, this is a hard thing to explain. Basically, the glowing text, Henry has written it as warnings, as signs, as notes to keep to himself. But it doesn't really add up when you think that, Joey wrote it, because why would Joey write it? He tricked Henry into going to the into the studio to trap him there, to make the game an endless loop for Henry. Henry no longer gets to see the people that he loves. And it's actually quite ridiculous that Joey did this. It used to be a worker. They used to be partners, business partners, but then Joey just kept taking from Henry, and Henry had enough, so he left. And then he came back, and after his first ending, which is the same as how you beat Bendy in the Ink Machine Chapter 5, basically, this endless loop is a sign. It's a sign that he knows what's going to happen. He's done it too many times. He has done it way too many times to know what is going to happen. He knows what's going to happen again. He's stuck in the same endless loop, and the glowing text is just signs and stuff of him, like reminding himself that he's been there already. Now, what was it written with? I don't know. It could have been written with probably some like invisible glowing ink, or like, like those pens are like they're invisible as you put them on like that certain paper or whatever. Yeah, he could have done that. Oh no, wait, this is 1930s. I forgot that wasn't invented yet. But that could be like very, very old text that Henry first drew. That Henry first wrote when he came to the studio for the second time. He had written all of it down. And it's kind of bizarre to think about, but it does add up if you think about it. If Henry has been doing this multiple times, well, there's why right there. Because he's done it multiple times, so he knows what's coming. Every time he knows what's coming. And it's ridiculous. Like, it's unbelievable. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back, sorry. But anyways, basically, the glowing text, it's all around in its warnings. Like, there was some text at the ink machine that said there was never a choice. And you're right, there was never a choice of the ink machine. Either way, it was going to be built. With Joey, whether Joey was there, whether Henry was there or not. Joey, because the studio was named after Joey, Joey could have personally thought that he had total control, because he rather abused his workers. he basically took full control of the place and did nothing to it did nothing when people weren't listening. Like basically when they refused, he made them a proposal and the he made the ink machine as per the proposal. He had proposed them immortality. But the immortality thing did not work out. In fact, all it did was kill workers into being trapped in this studio area forever. And Bendy, he is a lost little. He's a failure. He was the first person to be created without ink. Yes, you without person. I mean, obviously is made with ink, but the thing that sucks is that Joey hated when somebody refused to do something that he said. So say you're Joey and you tell me and and you tell me to do something, I say no. You would get mad at that and you would try to propose to me immortality in return for listening to him. And I say yes. There you go. There's the ink machine process. And now I'm a cartoon. But that's not exact. But here's the thing. If Henry, this theory also ends up with my Henry is not really a person. He's an ink person. It's an ink person. Henry's an ink person, and this theory matches that because if he is a cartoon, if he is not a normal person, then how is he able to revisit the studio many times? How is he still alive after fatal crashes in elevators and half the stuff that happens in the story? You would think that would add it all up. You would think that it would hurt the poor dude, but in reality it doesn't. It does not hurt him because he's a cartoon person. So as a cartoon person, starts to become aware. He starts to become aware of the things that are going on around the studio. He goes one time and then he immediately knows. It took him multiple times probably to make sure that he knew everything. And I don't really blame him. In fact, I think what Joey Drew was intending was something totally different. I'll be right back. I am back, sorry, but anyways, basically, the glowing text is. What was I even saying? I forget. Oh yeah, but basically, Joey Drew was in control of everything here, and it took Henry a couple times to realize that it was an endless loop. At the end of chapter 5, you appear in Joey's house, but that is because that is the very, 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 very beginning of the game. That's the very beginning of the story. It may be a little bit confusing, but it is how that's how it all began by Henry showing up to Joey's house. That's how it all ended up. It's kind of bizarre to think about, but you never know. And the thing is that you don't really know much until you play the game because there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on and it's kind of ridiculous. Like Joey was a very sinister man and what he did was not right. His idea to create the ink machine, sure that was a great idea, but the process for it was very sinful of him. If he seriously thought he could, I'll be right back. Come on. I am back, sorry. But anyways, Yeah, I can assure you that Henry is aware of what's going on in the studio because this is probably his 100th try trying to escape this never-ending loop, but he can't because it's the same thing all the time. It's ridiculous. He tried to escape, but he can't because it's the same ending every time. It's the same ending, but the funny thing is that see, the stupid part is that sorry guys, I'm kind of tired too, so it doesn't help my thinking. But anyways, Henry abandoned the studio and abandoned his creations when he left. Now, you're probably thinking, what does this have to do with the glowing text? I thought that's what this video was about. That is what it's about. I can assure you that's what this is all about. But the glowing text is just warnings and hidden messages written by Henry that Joey is unaware of because, as I keep saying, Henry is trapped in this endless loop. And it's actually started to get to the point where he just knows everything and he might as well stop trying. But then, yeah, again, I'm not Henry and I'm not stuck in an endless loop. But I do kind of think that it could have ended sooner. But the glowing text, I can assure you, the glowing text is not. It's basically all a hallucination. And if it was read, it was read by Henry. But the glowing text is all read by Henry. It's all a hallucination. Basically, it everything that Henry sees in the studio, it's all fake. It's all fake. It's not even funny. It's all fake. And Henry is not aware of this, but he is aware of the beads and stuff that is going on around the studio. Now, it is kind of bizarre to think that Henry does not know what's going on, but I can assure you it does mean something. But anyways, I'm sorry guys, I just can't do this. I have to have my theories written down and I didn't have my notebook with me today. So I'm sorry if this theory video was not as good as it could have been, and I apologize for that, and I'm sorry for the lack of uploads. I am in school, but as of right now, currently I'm in the hospital. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider dropping a like on the video. Right now, trying to reach 30 likes. Subscribe, join the journey, become a crafter, and leave a comment. This is Minecraft1 signing off. Push that notification bell as well.